Ooh.
Hannah. Hannah.
All right.
What up?
Just
What up?
finished up week 2.
What a week.
Another great week.
Yep.
I feel like we're getting spoiled with the amount of quality games we've had the first
Primetime.
2 weekends.
Prime
prime time
games.
especially. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was y'all Sunday?
Dude.
Bright spots, bad spots?
I was up at 8. I was up at 8:30.
Wow.
I haven't woke up that early in 7.5 years. Probably no, probably not that.
7.5 months would be a safe bet.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'll put the over. Yeah, exactly. Money line on that high. Yeah, man. It just you get so excited, dude. These 2, these 17 weeks or whatever during the regular season. I don't know about you guys, but man, it's just so fun. We're texting each other, Matt.
Yep.
Going over bets and stuff.
Yep.
Like, what do you like? And it's like, dude, this is so cool, man. You get giddy. I'm like, it's really my favorite in all 17 days. Maybe not the 17th because fantasy's over at that point, but yeah, those. But you just get so excited, dude. So and Broncos won too, man, 2-0. So
yeah, Brad, you had a good ending to your Sunday. Anything else you want to shout out?
That great ending. Put down 15 beers and I'm 500 in both my fantasy leagues. So
yeah,
we're doing all
on
right
track.
for 2 weeks. Right.
Yeah,
and your team beat the Chiefs, and your team beat the.
Been a long time coming.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go to Baltimore if they want to fucking win a playoff game. They're gonna be fucking shit out of luck.
Yeah,
What
well,
was that?
we'll see. We'll see.
What was that?
We're gonna get to that real soon. I had a little bit of an odd start to my Sunday because I'm sitting down at my whiskey barrel where I place all my bets every Sunday morning. It's about 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
And I need a good solid pregame meal before I start cracking beers.
Get going.
I look in the freezer. I throw a chicken pot pie in the microwave for a couple minutes. Take the chicken pot pie out of the microwave, only to find out by looking at the carton that this is in fact an apple pie and not a chicken pot pie.
I got the text message.
Yeah, so I put a scoop of vanilla ice cream on it and ate it and said, move on, cracked a beer.
Yeah.
When I had placed my wagers and rolled into Sunday. So,
I got that text.
Not the worst breakfast.
Yeah.
I was like, what's wrong with an apple pie? And then I read the context of it and I was like, that's pretty. That's pretty shitty.
All right. So let's kick it off to what was, probably unarguably the best game of the week, the Sunday night game.
Surprising.
Ravens and Chiefs. All of us thought it was a foregone conclusion that the Chiefs would win this game and most likely cover the 3.5 or 4 points they were favored by. I know I had that wager tied to a lot of things.
Yeah. We talked about how I brought up how it's crazy. It was only 3.5 or something.
We all thought it was way too low.
Vegas knows their shit.
Vegas beats our ass again.
Yeah,
Maybe
there we
know
go.
What the fuck is up?
So just to set the scene here, third quarter, 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Chiefs got the ball about the 50-yard line. It's a 3rd and 12. Mahomes throws an interception. It's probably the worst play I've seen Mahomes make.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything you can think of that Mahomes has done worse than that stupid interception?
No, but it finally caught up with him trying to do damn much.
Superman shit.
And dude, the fucked up thing is Kelsey wasn't far from that ball, but it's like, dude, you gotta
him getting swung around completely. There's no way you were going to get the ball on target. Really,
no. And like, in film, they've probably laughed and thrown up clips of him throwing with his left hand. And they're like, look at this. Now he's going to get a lesson. Probably. I think Andy Reid has to go to him, the OC, and be like, yo, dude, all right. You can have fun, but.
Mahomes was walking to the sideline after that play and he walked right by Reid. And I'm lip reading here, but Reid said, what the fuck was that? That's literally what Andy Reid said too.
Yeah,
I love it.
All that he had to say.
He orchestrates this beautiful offense, and I know Mahomes is great. What were you saying, Brad? My bad. I didn't
Oh,
mean to cut
no,
you
you're
off.
good. He even came out after the games like, that's probably the worst pick of my career.
Yeah.
And he's probably right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it was a game changer. I mean, so
Just
go on
in
from
terms
that.
of
because-
time
so
of the
then what-
game, you're talking,
That was
Tavon
when they
Young.
go for the jugular, dude, and then they gave him a shot.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
we've
so-
seen with the Bills and the Steelers in Week 1, I mean, you give them a good team of a shot, and
Yeah.
they hang around.
Following the interception, Ravens get a quick touchdown. Chiefs punt immediately when they get the ball back. Then the Ravens have an 8-minute touchdown drive to take the lead. They missed the 2-point conversion. The Ravens could have went up 3 points with a 2-point conversion. They missed that. And at that point, I'm saying the Chiefs have still got him.
It's over.
Mahomes is going to get the ball
It's like,
back with
son of
3
a
minutes
bitch.
left.
I
And
was
he's
just
going
pissed
to
at
at
that
least go
point.
get him a field goal.
There was
He
no
wasn't
way-
going to cover the spread.
That's I'm like, there's no way I can cover.
Yeah.
so-
I was hoping for a long touchdown play. I was in the same boat
Yeah.
to the point where when the Chiefs did get down there in field goal range, I was like, they're being too safe. Like they're just setting up for a field goal too
Okay,
soon.
Yeah.
You know,
I could
don't-
see that. Yeah.
Don't get so conservative too soon. And
Who
then
are- yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire with the terrible fumble. How do you let such a poke by a defensive
Yeah.
player?
I mean, a
Poke
great
that out. He just didn't see it
individual effort.
coming?
I mean, great
Yeah.
individual effort, but it was kind of awkward in that he's like a big dude, so he kind of reached around behind it, and got, because he's carried it in his right hand, and Adafe's kind of on his left, and he's able to reach around little chocolate eclair and pop it on. So I'm thinking,
It was almost
in
like a
his
scoop
mind,
poke.
right? He's thinking,
Yeah.
there's no way this guy over here can even get to the ball over here,
Yeah.
and then for that Adafe to pick it up himself too. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, he
welcome to the-
fucking claw armed it.
And
Welcome
Chocolate
to the
Eclair
league,
looked like
rookie.
he was trying to kick the ball away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
trying to kick it.
At
And-
that point, anything.
I think they said that was the first fumble of his career too.
Yeah,
man.
which
So
is
that-
surprising.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
one of
but-
the reasons they said they even drafted him.
But like Matt said, man, they did. They got a little conservative, and it's like, who are you guys, man? Go for the jugular. You can beat.
Mhm.
You got. I mean, you got to have some faith, which clearly they now shouldn't. That defense is awful, man. I thought Spagnuolo was good, and dude, they got physically dominated. You go through some of these numbers.
Yeah.
You look at time of possession, 35-24, man. I mean, it's not. I know you guys can score quick. That's not the point, though, man. If you're not out there enough times to score really fast, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter.
Yeah, when you look at the stats, like Mahomes only had 31 attempts,
Right,
and then
man.
Clyde
Yeah.
Edwards-Helaire had 13 carries, so they just didn't have enough plays to really
No.
do more than what they did.
They got caught
and
up.
then you make a couple mistakes when you have that few chances at it, and
And
that's
the
how you lose the
defense is
game.
Just shitty. And dude,
Oh.
people- yeah,
I
Ray
said-
Lewis come out. It was like, you think like knowing football guys like we do, man, and we're not experts, but we know the thought of the Ravens starting 0-2 is kind of crazy. It is with Lamar and everything. Now we know the injuries played a role, but it was like, again, Vegas just knows something. They kicked our ass, man, because like it makes sense. It would have been weird to see the Ravens 0-2, but at the same time, man, the fact that they were able to dictate like that. I guess everyone doubted Lamar. I did last week on our podcast, and he looked, he led the team for sure last night, man. Because like they don't, other than they don't really have much else going on other than him. And that play when he rolled out to the right for the touchdown and did a little stutter step and let the guy move and then ran it back right
flipped
past
over him.
dude. Yeah, no, not the flip. He was going to the pylon and he kind of like stutter stepped and then let like a linebacker was trying to time up when to hit him and then he burned him out a little bit farther.
Yeah. Yeah, I said going into the season, the Chiefs defense is better than most people expect. I've completely went the other way on that after seeing how easily Baltimore just pounded it right down their throats last night. They just don't have enough physical players. I mean, they have Chris Jones and Tyrann Mathieu, but other than that, it's a bunch of like subpar like players. They just don't have enough on that side of the ball.
No,
so, Brad, take a little, just to take a few minutes. I mean, Baltimore's your team. What confidence does this give you in them going forward? Does this change their whole season, do you think?
Probably. I mean, how could it not at this point? It looked like the sky was falling after week 1. Now we're here at week 2. They take down the Chiefs, who, Lamar admitted before the week has been their kryptonite. So to kind of have the response they did, I think it opens up to the league too. Nobody's really talked about it a lot yet, though. Baltimore completely took Tyreek Hill away. He was doubled on every single play, and they basically dared the Chiefs to run the ball, and they banked on their tackling against Kelsey. It bit him one time where he basically broke every single player on the team. I
can't believe he made it all the way to the end zone.
That was unbelievable,
dude.
And fantastic athlete, but I feel like that's how you beat him going forward.
You're willing to take that chance,
away
man.
that, because then Mahomes, he can dance in the pocket forever. But if you got his favorite deep play guy corralled, he doesn't. Yeah. He's not as excited to throw that 5-yard check down to Kelsey. But I think the Baltimore defense, they're nothing special either. I know we're bashing on Kansas City's. So you usually think of Baltimore as a defensive team, and
for sure, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be there this year. I think it's all going to be on Lamar's back, and he's going to have a near MVP year. But hey, 500 at least.
Yeah.
Fuck the Chiefs.
And dude, that's going forward. That could be a huge win, not only for the fucking Ravens, but for any team in the AFC, because it knocked off the Chiefs early on, man. You get a couple, you don't have to go into Arrowhead then in the playoffs. So
yeah, it's a possibility. The Chiefs defense concerns me to the point where I could see them losing 5 or 6 games this year. I would have said that going into the year.
Yeah, but now I agree, dude. Yeah, I thought that earlier today when I was looking at Super Bowl props, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, dude, they're the favorite, but they might not. They could. I mean, dude, who knows, dude? I mean, you never know with injuries and shit. And again, now there's that blueprint out there a couple times that from the Super Bowl with the Bucks, and then with the Ravens. You shut down, like Brad said, you shut down Tyreek.
Yeah, and they didn't even necessarily need to get pressure on Mahomes. They just needed to cover Hill, and it made the Chiefs have to work the way down the field in a way they're not used to having to be patient,
not comfortable
doing it that way. And then you make a few mistakes, and that's all you need to do is force a couple turnovers.
Because Baltimore did not play a perfect game by any means. Lamar didn't even play those picks he threw were ugly and very dumb.
And you said it like, dude, that maybe it might not be their best defense that Harbaugh's had there, but it still is John Harbaugh, and he drafts talent. He's got talent out there on defense. They might not be the best players at each position, but they can tackle, and they did it last night, man. And they kept them in that game enough to give Lamar a shot, and he took over. I mean, they won the game. The defense did, man. So
props to Baltimore. That was an excellent way to close out Sunday.
Cheers to Baltimore. Are you kidding me?
I'll drink to that.
What? Are you kidding me?
Oh, just one more thing. I show up at work today. One other guy at work shows up. I work in an office of about 15 to 17 people. One other guy shows up, and he's a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Nah,
the rest of the office, I'm in Kansas City for the listeners who don't know. Nobody else bothered to show up for work today after that loss.
That is beautiful.
And, some of them said it was COVID. I just don't. Right. I have trouble believing that right after a brutal Sunday night loss. So that was just one more thing I wanted to add.
COVID was over a year ago. What are they talking about?
So that being said, we're going to look at 0-2 teams that possibly have a chance at making the playoffs and 2-0 teams that might miss the playoffs. Let's start with the 0-2 teams. I believe there's 6 of them. Yeah, there's 6 of them. We got Falcons, and the Packers and Lions we're not including here because they're not 0-2 yet.
Right.
Neither of them are 0-2 yet. We got Falcons, Colts, Jags.
They're going to tie tonight.
Vikings, Giants, Jets. So New York is 0-4 as a whole. That city's it's been rough for them since the Giants Super Bowls.
Good Atlanta. Yeah. How do you have 2 teams?
So I'm going to go ahead and rule out the Jets for everybody, right? I don't think anybody's going to say the Jets.
Yeah.
No, this is a tough one. Yeah, because
Jimmy, go ahead. Start. Take everybody. It's got to be a bold pick here because I don't have a strong argument for anyone. I got a team here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we all
who's the immediate backup for Wentz?
Wentz, it would be Jacob Eason from all the news I've heard,
so
which he came in and threw a pick. Ellinger, apparently they don't think he's ready.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, then in that case, this is tough, and we'll probably move through this segment quick because it's hard to make a case. But I would go with the Giants in that case, just because actually, I don't think Daniel Jones has thrown a pick yet this year. He's had a couple turnover, like thrown, fumble or put it on the ground, but won the Broncos.
He was impressive Thursday night.
But yeah, he was. And again, in Washington, that's a
On
good
the ground,
defense,
at least.
man. And like on the road on a quick week, which could help the offense more than it does the defense. But yeah, if I'm going to go with one, plus that division's such a toss up. So you could win it again, like they did last year at 7-9. So I go with the Giants.
All right.
I guess.
Brad, you got something different?
Yeah, I like the Vikings. I think that offense has enough that, Cincinnati, that was kind of just a crap game. Week one's weird, and then Arizona put it on them, but Arizona's looking like one of the best teams in the league. So I don't know. You get away from maybe some of these young teams that seem to, surprise you. There's a lot of veterans on that football team.
Yeah,
I think they could surprise. If not Zimmer, I bet is fired.
I had the Vikings down too for my 0-2 team. Did either of you guys hear that radio call out of Minnesota on the 37-yard field goal for the Vikings that won
when
it?
The guy said it went in.
He goes, and 37-yard field goal to win it. The kick is up,
they called it
and the kick is good.
That was it.
And then he was like, oh.
No, he missed
it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I think that had to have been the same one because I heard
they're gonna call for his firing.
Where the dude got the call wrong. But how do you do that?
Wow.
God, can you imagine being in your car? How annoyed you'd be, dude, if you're driving. You're like, yes,
right,
motherfucker. Like I stayed in the car for 20 extra minutes just because I didn't want to go inside. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
that's your thank you. Yeah.
Oh.
You get told, oh, you win. No, you didn't.
All right, let's move on to 2-0 teams, which I see 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 teams that are 2-0. We got Cardinals, Panthers, Broncos, Raiders, Rams, 49ers, and Buccaneers are all 2-0. Brad, which one of these teams could fall out of this race and miss the playoffs?
I think Carolina.
Okay.
I
thought about them.
One of their 2 wins is against the Jets. The other, they got to play Jameis after his, every time he has a high, he's going to have a low. So you kind of saw it. I don't know. I don't believe in Sam Darnold at all. I don't.
Yeah.
He had a solid week.
That COVID stuff really seemed like it fucked the Saints over because it wasn't only Jameis. There was just nothing there for the Saints offense. Right. Nothing they were trying was working. So it must have been having 7 coaches missing throughout the week. Their game plan just wasn't strong enough to go on the road and get a win.
Who takes over in a situation like who?
Well, the backup rookie quarterback from Notre Dame, Ian Book.
Yeah.
He was managing substitutions for the Saints.
See, that's
coming in and out of the game. So that's pretty rough.
Up the whole.
I knew they had Peyton and Allen, their DC, but it was like almost every single positional coach. And I think special teams coach were out.
Imagine being like, all right, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
Get your ass out there.
I don't think everything's going to work that perfectly the rest of the year for Carolina.
Yeah.
Plus McCaffrey, they're 1 injury away from becoming
their offense completely
terrible
team.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, definitely.
All right, Jimmy, 2-0 team to miss the playoffs. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I had I was gonna go with the Panthers, but I think the Raiders. I think even though I like them a lot, it's a tough division. I think the Broncos have a better defense than the Raiders do. I really do, and I think we've also been without.
I'd agree with the defensive side. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been without Bradley Chubb for he got re-aggravated on fucking Sunday, so he didn't play the whole game, and we looked really good, man. And I think that we can remain. I don't know if we'll make the play, but I think we'll end up with a better record than Las Vegas will. I think that we're a little bit. I think just with Teddy Two Gloves, man, he can manage it, and if he doesn't get hurt, we should be all right.
He's looking strong.
He has looked really good, way better. I mean, I knew he could be a game manager, but he's looked a little. He's made some plays too, which is great.
Right. So. Well, and it'll be interesting too as the Broncos. They haven't really had a test yet, but
No, and
if they can knock off a good team, I don't think,
the coolest thing is, man, it was 2 road games early on that you get to and you win them.
Yeah,
you know?
can't
And
complain with that.
Yeah, that's
No.
awesome. And it's like, I know they were shitty teams. I'm not an idiot, but bad teams lose against shitty teams. We know
Yep.
that. So,
Yep. Yeah,
what do you think?
I definitely don't mind it. The Broncos have looked good. Teddy Bridgewater has exceeded my expectations I had for him going into the year. I am going to disagree with you, and I got the Broncos missing the playoffs, and my argument really is I think there's a possibility of 3 teams being better than them in that same division. The Raiders and Broncos it's kind of tough to pick one convincingly ahead of the other, but this is a division where maybe the 4th place team in this division is 8 and 9.
Yeah.
And maybe that ends up being the Broncos, which wouldn't be a bad year, but it's just that's my call. And part of it is I love John Gruden, so I want the Raiders to get in.
I do too, man. It sucks,
good.
but and to be honest, we had to pick something,
Yep.
So I'm not going to pick the Broncos. And yeah, but I think that I'm actually impressed by what Gruden's put together on defense there. They're not necessarily, again, names like the Ravens or whatever, but they've been hitting people, you know what I mean? And, you know, kind of making plays. So,
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say one other team I'll shit on that's 2-0 just to piss off every friend we have in the golf league. I already shit on Carolina, San Francisco. I don't think they're gonna. That NFC West is too good, and I think they're the clear cut 3rd team.
I totally agree, man. I couldn't agree more. I don't know what people see. I know that they made the Super Bowl and that they were it felt like a different team then, dude. They
much
didn't
more
have
defensive, I thought.
Yeah. And well, now their coordinator's gone. They didn't have though like dilemmas at quarterback. They didn't have 80 running backs when you don't know it. I know the one dude had a good week, but again,
Yeah. You hear who they brought in today?
Because
their 2 backups got hurt this week. You hear they brought in Lamar Miller and Duke Johnson.
Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis.
I can't believe Adrian.
I was really,
on the
dude.
list.
You were so excited. What I thought you were going to say for some reason was Eddie Lacy, and I was just about to have a fucking tackle of a laugh if it was Eddie Lacy, like 240 pounds or 280 pound Eddie Lacy.
Offensive coordinator.
Bring him in there.
Yeah. Well, then he came in, he got concussed on the first play and fumbles. And then Hasty's out for a couple of weeks, so it's just
I like
Mitchell
Hasty. I like that guy.
So it's just
they
Mitchell
just got
right
too
now.
many of them, and I totally agree. I think the Rams are above them. I think the Rams are a better team, just all around. They have one of the the front, and then anytime you have Donald and then Ramsey outside, you have that's the making of a great defense. And then Seattle, dude, they've looked really good, man, and
I agree.
They've beaten some tough football teams. So.
Somebody in that division is going to miss out too.
It will. It'll be like the AFC West, man. And I'm not AFC West is not as good, but you know what I'm saying. It will. It'll be 3 out of 4 probably.
Yeah.
It's like the AL East right now in baseball. So.
Yep. All right. So that wraps up that. Guys, I want to make this real quick and go through the bet reviews. We were all 2 and 4 on our picks.
Brad stays in the lead. Fuck that, man. All right. Hey, listen.
There was a couple real close calls on like 3.5 point spreads where the favorite won but didn't cover. There's a couple. Brad, I think you had the under in the Chiefs Ravens game, which was just a wild freaking surprise. For as much of a shootout that game was. And then
they get hit in the first quarter.
I had the under.
I parlayed it with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So first time I've ever bet on the Chiefs. I want you all to know that. The first time I've ever bet on the Chiefs. Yeah. Maybe, man. What were you saying, dude? My bad.
Well, I had a under that was close to hit, and it was Colts Rams. The winning field goal took it over. So
man.
it was like looking through the games, I was like, oh, that is a loss, but it was so fucking close on a lot of these. So it's just Vegas again. Vegas burned us this week. We're gonna get them back. We're gonna get them back.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's because I took money from them on Friday night. I went to the boat.
Yeah.
Did a little well, so dude.
Overall,
that
they had to fight back.
They get it all back eventually.
Somehow, dude. Yeah, for the first time in a year and fucking whatever since a kung flu. I won money, and yeah. So
All right.
I did hear though Vegas was going to lose their ass, I guess, just based on all the bets until Baltimore kept it close and won, and Vegas I
That
guess
saved their
just
Sunday.
destroyed everybody.
The
Yep.
fix was in somewhere. Then they sent
Yep.
something down to Baltimore.
Hey, I'll take it.
ain't fucking right.
All right. Let's.
Yeah.
It's early to talk about the MVP of the NFL, but at the same time, you got to hit one of these bets in the early weeks to get decent odds before the herd thins out. So Brady has moved into the favorite at plus 450. Mahomes second at plus 500 and Kyler third at plus 600. I won't go through all the odds here. I'll just stick with the top three. Maybe both of your picks are outside of there, maybe not. Brad, you mentioned you liked Kyler for this, I believe, after week one. Do you see any reason to, stray away from that one?
No.
Kyler?
I mean, he continues to just be insanely efficient. I mean, the guy's on pace for 5,500 yards passing and 56 passing touchdowns. And then also 400 on the ground with 17 rushing touchdowns. I mean, he would this if he stays at this pace, it'll be the best offense probably we've ever seen. I mean, Rondale Moore. I mean, hat tip to Matt for that.
I love that dude too. I love watching him play. He's my type of dude.
That was awesome when he scored that. I would, dude. We were all.
Well, do you want to explain it for everybody?
Me and Jimmy were texting back and forth Sunday morning. This was about 11 o'clock. He was asking if there was any player props that I liked for the day. And the first one I gave him was Rondale Moore over 50 receiving yards, which I believe you could get at like plus 120 somewhere in that range.
Yeah, and I just went to the original one. It was plus 40.
Plus 40, plus 41 maybe. But I followed up on the text with my confidence that it could only take one play.
On one play, dude.
Yeah. And I believe it was a second reception of the day, but it was a 70-yard touchdown reception.
Dude, yeah.
Kyler rolled out, escaped a blitz.
And then, dude,
he was uncovered.
Man. Like I know that was not a dime because it wasn't covered, but
but on a rollout, nail it
opposite side, like across your body like that, man. That was so impressive. Yeah, Kyler. Yeah.
I like the bet, and it's just like the people he's up against for MVP, Dak, Mahomes, and Brady, they can't do all the things he does running the ball.
Yeah, he's gonna pick up the numbers.
He's gonna run for close to 1,000 yards this year, I bet.
Yeah,
that takes about 60 a game.
I don't know if he'll.
I don't think he will because he
runs behind the line of scrimmage more. He's always
like I think he's about 25 yards a game rushing.
Because he's always running behind the line, you know what I mean?
But he's super dangerous in the red zone.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, going back to my point last week when I was blown away by Kyler, I have not watched enough Cardinals yet. I did not last season.
Crazy, man. Yeah. And he's fun to watch.
He's kind of blown me away this year.
One of the more fun guys to watch.
Yeah. Well, I am taking Brady at plus 450. He's on pace for 76 touchdowns. Not a bad number. And the main reason I'm making this bet is watching the Bucs game, which I never miss a play of the Bucs. When they get down and it's first and goal on the 1 yard line, it's like they're making a focused effort to make sure Brady gets these touchdown passes. They do not hand it off on the fucking 1 yard line, dude. I noticed because I have fucking Ronald Jones in fantasy.
Yes.
But he had a 1 yard touchdown to Mike Evans yesterday, a 1 yard touchdown pass to Gronk yesterday, a 3 yard touchdown pass to Mike Evans yesterday.
The fucked thing is too, they can hit that run if they want to.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that they don't have the offensive line to punch it in from the 1 yard line.
You gotta get that one jackass under control though.
Who would that be? Who's
big hairy bastard that dove into the
dumbass.
He's uncontrollable,
Jensen.
dude.
He's a bonehead.
Uncontrollable.
Man. He's like
he dove on the pile yesterday. Got
after the 15-yarder. Over, dude. Like, what are you doing,
dude? But I will say he eggs people into unnecessary roughnesses as often as he gets called for.
Right? Yeah, he's not bad at because you remember Richie Incognito. He would do it to a point where it's like, man, you're costing the team, dude. Like you're not. It's not like the good outweighs the bad. It's like no. You're just getting one every 5 games, and you're giving up 3. Like we can't do that. Yeah,
I just remember he had those snap issues too. With Brady at shotgun. It's like I can't believe they still deal with this psycho. Like,
he's really good though.
He must
he's
be
really
he must
fucking
be a
good.
good locker room dude. Like if he gets in people's heads, those dudes are good. Like guys to have on your team. So sucks. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. So you go with Brady. What were the odds on that one?
Plus 450. He's
the favorite.
1,000 before Sunday.
So you went to so where what's the top 5 at the site you use? I'm
getting Brady, Mahomes, Kyler, Dak, and Russell Wilson as my top 5.
Okay, all right. Yeah, man. If am I up now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I would go with Russ, man. I think it's just time for it, dude. And I just would like to see him get an MVP. Me and you have talked about that in years past, and like he has the receivers now with Lockett to get the numbers to do it. And like we were saying, man, if some of those goal line throws start going to the running back rather than fucking getting the passing touchdown. Yeah. And Brady's a smart dude, man. He's gonna ground and pound. He's not air it out. He's an older guy. He knows his age. Not that he can't do it, but he's like, I'm not just gonna. We got a good football team, man. Yeah. And playoff Lenny's gonna show up in December, and they'll be good. But I think, and that's just my, I think that Russ has the receivers around him. He can run too. And Kyler has slowed down in years past. He gets banged up a little bit, or the team gets banged up. He can't move around as much, and so it could diminish that.
That's really my only concern with Kyler.
I love Kyler though, or I love me some fucking DeAndre Hopkins.
I think
he's gonna get. And I called it on here. My bad, Brad.
Oh, the most touchdowns.
He's getting the damn touchdown record, man. I called it, and he's already got 3 after 2 weeks, man.
All right. We'll do a little quarterly update. I'll look back through some notes. We're at week 2 after week 4.
Right on.
We'll kind of just do a little review of kind of I'll pick and choose. I'll pick and choose and just choose everything that worked out well for what I predicted and just leave out the rest.
Yeah, that works.
There you go, man. Yeah, because that'll be a segment. Will be fucking way too short, man. We're gonna have to boost something into that.
Yeah.
We can talk about like Gramsci or something.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about Derek Carr at plus 2,500.
I was looking at that too.
With the way they're throwing the ball. I mean,
dude,
he's almost gonna have 500 completions if he keeps throwing it like this.
Wasn't Brad Thompson the most efficient passer in 2002 when they won the
Brad
Super
Johnson?
Bowl? Brad Johnson and Brad Thompson.
Okay.
That sounds right. I know like in the second half of that Buccaneers season, Brad Johnson had a stretch where he threw like 15 touchdowns without an interception.
Without a pick.
Which back then, it doesn't sound like a ton nowadays, but back then that was like having 3 a game.
Was different.
Well, especially knowing it's fucking Brad. It's the Buccaneers too. Yeah, man. So but that would make sense in Derek Carr, Brad. That's one that I looked at too, dude. Yeah, definitely.
If you're looking, because think about it, if he goes out for like 500 next week, he probably vaults into the plus 1,000 range with like Russ, and I think you said Dak was in that ballpark too. He's
in that area.
If you're looking for a buy low guy, that would definitely be it.
Yeah.
I think Stafford's worth a stab at too.
That's a good call.
Just because there's such a narrative, him going from a shit team to a good team, and if they win that division at like 13-3, or it would be 13-4 this year.
He's one of the rare cases where like an aging quarterback gets a great deal out of it instead of like getting shit like Andy Dalton got, like where you got to go play like 3 different, like you get to go play, dude. You get to go just
super powered offense, genius coach.
Dude, like just go try to rip it, and if you screw up, whatever, dude. But yeah, man, if you're like anywhere coherent and still have the physical capability,
right?
So that not a lot of quarterbacks get that chance, man, and he hit the lottery on that one.
Yep.
The only thing that worries me with him was you saw already week 2 smacking his thumb on somebody's helmet. It's just like, oh boy, here we go again.
And
it is a matter of time. Stafford always has something go on.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him, I always liked the kid. But
All right. Let's wrap up the first part there. We'll jump right back in here. We're going to do a little bit of trivia, which I think will be a good time.
You guys are
And
fun.
then we're going to touch on the Monday night game, give some thoughts on the Monday night game.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sounds good.